starting off at 0 in the Major Arcana Tarot cards. What's it all about? Well, if we look at our card, we can see a little bit of a story there. And that's what I would urge you to do, to look at what's in the symbology of the cards and to see what story you feel is being told. And each time you look at that card, you might see something different because you're in a different space, or the person that you're thinking about is equally in a different space. And that means that it can have a complete change as to the feelings that you are getting, and that's very important. I wouldn't talk about intuition at this point. Your intuition is probably absolutely doing fine, thank you very much. What's nice is to be able to look at something that helps you feel very grounded in the meanings of your cards. And if you know the meanings, you'll have the confidence to be able to say you're not getting that awful thing which is called card blindness, which many readers used to say to me, oh crikey, I just went blank. Sure, it happens to us all, but if we know the meanings of the cards and we go with what we're feeling, we will definitely get a message for that person or for ourselves. So the Fool, there he is, flamboyant character. What a figure, standing there and about to step off the cliff edge. And there's a little dog, and there's mountains in the background, and he's dressed in a very, very flamboyant way, which probably tells us that he's expecting things to go well. And if we look, he is carrying a stick or a staff or a baton. Some even say it's a cane, and that can be part of what comes from the magician, okay? But it's a knapsack with a stick. And if we look at the knapsack, it's tiny. Now, I'll be zooming into this a little bit for you so you can see a bit closer if you've not got a card of your own to follow along with. So what's the meanings of this card? Well, it's talking about taking a leap of faith, isn't it? And it's also telling us that, you know, we sometimes need to step into the unknown no matter what. So the Fool is on the cliff edge, and he looks as if he's going to walk off the edge. And judging by what we can see in the background there, it may be a long way down. Who knows whether he's going to go to his death or whether he's actually going to just say, you know what, where I land is where I want to be because, you know what, I'm in control and this is what I want to do. So symbolically, we're just talking about the fact that this can make us feel that we're going to do it anyway. And if you think of someone like middle-aged sort of character who decides, you know what, to heck with it, I'm going to travel the world or buy a sports car, and everyone's telling me, you're mad, what are you doing? You should be saving, you should be this, you should be sensible. Sometimes we actually have foolish notions and they're the best thing we ever do. And we know that for us at this time, in this place, in this space that we're in, that's exactly what we need to do. And we've got to ignore all the safety sort of nets and everything. And we just get to take that leap of faith, that new beginning, that unexpected turn, to know that we are going to be able to actually say, I am living. I am living in the moment. It's exciting. So we've got an astrological association with this card, and that is planet Uranus, or Uranus as some would call it. And this is a planet that's full of unpredictability. And it's also about originality. So, you know, if we look, Fool starts at 0, not 1, 0. So in that number, there is an essence of representing something that's about to take off, but there's no activity yet. Okay, so there's a bit of an emptiness about that number and a waiting that something's going to happen and something's going to be fulfilled. This is a card of potential, great things that are going to happen that haven't happened yet, and things that we're hoping to manifest. And it is a little bit like all the aces are also very much new beginnings. So we've got the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles. And in those images, we are shown as if we're being given a gift, okay, by the hand that comes from a cloud, showing us there's a new beginning, depending on the suit. So suit of air is about logic, and suit of water, emotion, and we've got the wands, which is fire, which is all about action, and then we've got the pentacle family, which is all about manifestation. Talking about that, if we look at the Fool's knapsack, it's tiny, but in that we assume that he has got all of those key elements, as in that he has the sword, he has the cup, he has the wand, and he has the pentacle. So he's travelling very, very light. It also shows us that he's not expecting things to go wrong. If you look, he's dressed in a very flamboyant way and eccentric, really. You know, oh, I don't care, it's fine, I'm going to do that. That's why we've got this dress sense going on here. And also, look at the background, yellow, beautiful, joyous, happy, cheerful colours, reminding us that we are joyful in our approach to things that are new and that we don't know anything about them and we don't actually care, we just want to do it. And that is really what the Fool is all about. But then you would need to look at your surrounding cards to see what influences are going on there and more about what's actually happening. So sticking to the card itself as in just the Fool, that flamboyant dress is, well, his overgarment's really bright and cheerful, isn't it? And so the red and the yellow that are on and the flowers on his tunic suggest that he has passion and enthusiasm and that he is happy. There is something really lovely about the excitement, and the colours themselves are symbolic of cheerfulness, happiness, confidence, passion, and joy. And everything looks really good in his outfit. But hold on a minute. He's got his tights on there, as in his undergarments, maybe they're pants, but they're a lighter colour. And that also reminds us that he's very innocent because of the colour involved. Well, he's wearing a cap, and I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to actually blow this up a little bit for you. Can you see that he's actually got something on his head? And they're laurel leaves, a bit like a crown. So he is wearing this as symbolic that he doesn't question the fact that he's going to succeed. You know, crown of laurel leaves is kind of like, it's a victory here. I'm okay. You know, everything's going well. So he's already kind of saying, you know, things are off to a good start here. And he's not questioning anything to do with his potential. There's lots of purity, there's lots of innocence, naivety. Look how he's looking up at the sky. And if we also look on his head, there is a red feather, which is like a feather in your cap. It's symbolic of his first success and the success of being very close to manifesting what he actually wants. So really lovely image. And if we look how tiny his little knapsack is there, yeah, tiny, 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 just the elements, my thoughts, my feelings, my actions, my intentions, and what I'm going to manifest. And I'm full of the joys of spring and the joy of life. And in one hand, he's carrying a rose. Look how carefully he is actually holding that. I'm going to use a pen, okay? So as thorns on a rose, he's making sure that he's holding it right at the tip so that those thorns are not going to do him any harm. And he is knowledgeable enough to know that that is something he's got to be careful of. Later on, he'll find things out. Now, as the Fool progresses on his journey, the whole point is that that knapsack of his will start to weigh heavily, because as he meets people and as he comes across significant things that are happening, he will find that the adventure of everything that life throws at him will probably start to weigh heavily down on that knapsack. He's also not very well dressed for the weather. You can actually see that there are mountains in the background, and those mountains in the background have snow on them. So he's not expecting to meet anything cold or chilling or problematic, which could be a bit naive. And he's just saying, well, hold on a minute, I just want to do what I want to do. And nobody's going to get in my way. And I'm having a wonderful time. So this is for me, and this is what I want to do. But we're almost going, oh gosh, please don't. You know, he's not going to listen to reason. Maybe that's why the dog is in the card. I will always read that card as in uniquely each time for the person that I'm reading for. I'll see different things, there will be different feelings, there will be different meanings that come up because of where the cards are actually placed. It's in the position, it's surrounding cards, and it's partner card. As you know, I work in pairs. So if you are interested in learning that method, do go onto my website, tarotwithannemarie.com. You will find course after course, beginners, intermediate, advanced. Follow me on YouTube. We'll be doing lots of things here, helping students along and helping qualified and experienced readers who sometimes just need, well, some impartial advice. And that's what we can all gather, not just me, this whole community. And that's something of a treat for all of us because we're kind of forced out there, as in, get on with it, let's go. And we can doubt ourselves, can't we, when we are dealing with other people. So we might go, gosh, I've got this customer and I've got the Fool. I don't know what it means. Well, again, just try and look at the card itself. Do you feel that this person makes you feel that they're not going to take any notice of anybody? Do you feel that the little dog is perhaps saying, go for it, go on, let's play, let's have fun? Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's actually, I'm your intuition, and you know I'm telling you this is silly, this is dangerous, and I'm your guardian angel, and I'm trying to say, I'm your faithful, faithful friend. Why are you going to jump off that cliff? What's going on here? Do you see? So there's so much there that is in this card that actually this is the beginning. And as we go on to the next cards, each one tells a story about where the Fool started and at what point he's reaching. And so that's the major arcana. So there's an awful lot of things that go on in the major arcana. Let's look at the colours. The sky is yellow, and its glorious sun is dazzling down on our lovely Fool, suggesting that there's an abundance and happiness and a cheerfulness, and that he is at the point of feeling young and happy. But he's also not really looking where he's going, as we know, but he's also, look at the angle of his head. There's no way that he's seeing those mountains at the side of him and the snow-capped peaks. So therefore, again, it's a bit of a problem that he's not paying attention to what's going on. And maybe he doesn't want to know. Maybe he's just leap of faith, like we always say. So he expects clear skies, sunshine, the joy in life. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Perhaps he needs to actually start off like that and continue and see where this road leads to for him. I would say that this is a card of freedom and youthfulness, naivety, and that we are freeing ourselves of anything that's limiting our beliefs. And we don't want anything to control us. We just want to actually enjoy life and actually put our demands of society and what it predicts for us and the traditions of that to one side. So the Fool's a really lovely card. If we look, he looks as if he's in mid-stride. So one foot's kind of in the air and one foot's on the floor, suggesting that he's neither grounded nor stable. And yeah, he is in danger of kind of slipping off the edge or just taking a stride and going straight down that cliff. Yeah, it can make us go, gosh, what are you doing? And gasp in horror as to what could actually be happening to our Fool. But maybe he knows this. Maybe he's not scared. Maybe he wants a new start so badly that this is better than where he's been. Maybe it's about him feeling so bold and courageous that he really is just a bit like one of those people that kind of says, well, I'm going for it, I'm courageous, and maybe I'm a bit of a walking hazard. And yeah, I'm a bit of a fool and I don't really care, and I'm going to do it anyway, which is admirable. And sometimes it's really nice to be so free, to be in such a place where you can actually connect with something like that. And see you next Friday at 5 o'clock, everybody.